Welcome back. Well, today's book is about a young girl who belongs to two different cultures. One in India and one in her life in America. And it starts right with the book's title, American Desi. Desi means someone who comes from or whose family comes from India, Pakistan, or Bangladesh in South Asia, but who lives in another country. And there are several words in this book you may not be familiar with. So let's go over them before we read the book. Henna is a dye that today is mainly used to create temporary designs on skin in celebration of special occasions such as weddings and birthdays. The henna paste symbolizes good health and prosperity in a marriage. Bindi refers to a bright dot of some color applied in the center of the forehead, close to the eyebrows or in the middle of the forehead, which has an historical, cultural, and often but not always a religious significance by people in India and Southeast Asia. And food. There are two kinds of South Asian food mentioned in the book that are made from ground black lentils and rice, dosas and idli. A dosa is a thin pancake, and an idli is a steamed rice cake. Pavade is a traditional dress in southern India, usually worn by teenagers and small girls. And there's something called Bollywood dance moves. Bollywood dancing is a combination of traditional Hindi dance, jazz, hip-hop, with a lot of hands and finger motions. So in today's picture book, the pictures will show both sides of this young girl's culture. On the left-hand side, her Indian roots. On the right, her American. American Desi. Written by Jyoti Rajan Gopal, with illustrations by Supriya Kalkar. This is the first children's book by Jyoti Rajan Gopal, who's a kindergarten teacher, writer, and mom. She grew up in Thailand, Indonesia, Myanmar, India, China, but now lives in the United States. Supriya Kalkar is an author, illustrator, and a movie screenwriter. She grew up in the Midwest and says she taught herself Hindi by watching Hindi movies every week. Festive henna, garnet red. Bindis, bangles, Desi queen. Fantasy hair, seafoam green. Which is the color of me? Rhythmic stride, jaunty step, jangling yellow, Bollywood moves. Shimmery blue, hip-hop grooves. Which is the color of me? Bell chimes, bare feet, sacred space, flowers, incense fill the air. Wearing shoes, without a care. Which is the color of me? 1 foot here, 1 foot there, straddling, bridging worlds apart, searching deep within my heart the different colors of me. Cricket, wicket, innings, runs, shouts and cheers and screams for all. Football, scrimmage, sacks and calls. Which is the color of me? Pavades in bright gold colors, or jersey shirts and faded jeans, swapping, changing, feeling seen. Which is the color of me? Threads that spin and wind and knit, pulling, tugging all the strands, gathering, holding in my hands the different colors of me. Silky, shimmery, flowy, fancy, lacy, crinkly, satin, plain, twining, binding, one refrain that shapes the fabric of me. Hindi, Tamil, twirl and swirl. English, drawls and twangs and flares. One voice here, one voice there. Finding the sounds of me. Mac and cheese with fork or spoon. Doses, idlis, fingers scoop. Spicy, tangy, savory loop, blending the flavors of me. Scents and accents pop and simmer. Loud and proud, my worlds collide, forging space. No need to hide the many colors of me. Switching rhythms, shifting worlds, feeling fierce, a joyous call, giving thanks for one and all, the wondrous colors of me. Shedding doubts, keeping faith, raising hope, let it sing, blending, merging, taking wing. The glorious colors of me. Desi fam, American roots, guiding, holding, raise me strong. Spirit, pride, a heart-deep song. This is the color of me. American Desi, blurring lines, blooming, thriving, watch me grow. Staying true to all I know, to all the colors of me. The end. Well, what did you think of the book? Did you like it? One thought I had was how the questions of this little girl reminded me of what the earliest Christian church had to figure out in those first years after Easter. You're going, what? Well, yes. They had two different cultures to try and figure out. The early followers of Jesus, remember, were Jewish, and they had deep ties with worshiping in the Jerusalem temple, keeping the laws of Moses, and celebrating the many Jewish festivals. And they had to figure out, well, how do we include new followers of Jesus who were not Jewish? Well, at first, they thought, well, to be a follower of Jesus, someone had to convert first to being a Jew and keep the Jewish law. And they finally figured out that was not going to work, as you can read about in the book of Acts in the New Testament. And the Apostle Paul, who was converting many non-Jews, had to argue with the Jerusalem church to come to a compromise, figuring out how do they honor their Jewish roots and this new reality of the risen Jesus. So the little girl in this book, this American Desi, well, she's figuring out on a much smaller scale a similar thing. How does she honor both her Indian and her American roots? And she seems to be doing a pretty good job. See you next week, and we'll have another cool story, okay? Bye-bye.